let's come to SEBI and IBPS SO. You have cleared both the exams. So
Yes, ma'am.
what are your opinions? Is it okay? Is it fine to prepare for both? And is it even possible to prepare for both together?
Yes, ma'am. It is quite possible to prepare for both. It depends on how do you approach these examinations. Like, say, some people might start reading IBPS SO just uh, like they want. The goal should not be to master everything. It must be to be jack of all trades, right? You have to be just familiar with and quite well versed with the syllabus. That is all. You do not have to go reading in depth. So like people quite miss out on these things when they go to the syllabus. Like for example, SEBI gives out quite a distinct syllabus in Companies Act, right? But if one look closely, he might notice that half of the Companies Act where SEBI leaves out, right?
Yes.
So if anybody is targeting to do like at the same time these two examinations, one thing they can do, they can start like what I did personally. I started preparing for SEBI way back because SEBI is quite competitive. There are very few seats. The cutoffs are usually high. So you need to be accurate in your approach in SEBI. So first of all, one can clear the SEBI syllabus, as one can be well versed with it. After that, he can start the IBPS SO syllabus. There are only if somebody has read the SEBI syllabus and they have quite memorized it, only few banking laws are left. All right,
Mostly.
for IBPS SO. Yeah,
Yes.
and what IBPS SO does in particular is that it it gives out quite obvious questions. So, for example, SARFAESI may they'll ask what is Section 13, what is the procedure for creditor. So, like they are quite obvious in their approach. While SEBI goes in depth, like you need to remember their bare X verbatim in order to clear it.
Okay.
So that is the difference between IBPS SO and SEBI. In my case, I prepared for around 5 months for SEBI and 1 month for IBPS SO. 1 month was quite enough for IBPS SO for me.
Yes, paper one mostly was covered. Prelims was covered through SEBI's preparation. It's common in that.
Yes,
So a few of the acts are different. A little bit.
correct.
Okay, so many students are having questions as to what is the ideal time to start preparation and how to prepare along with either the college going students or the working professionals, since they can devote less time. So what is the
Yes.
ideal time to prepare, and how much time to devote on a daily basis? So what are your views on that as per your experience?
Well, ma'am, it depends quite on what are your strengths.
Okay.
Say somebody in their final year might have a lot of time because in final year we do not have much to study. So they might have a lot of time. So even if they are not familiar with that subjects at that time, they can easily cover up in 1 year. Right. So I recommend to those students who do not have any basic familiarity with the SEBI syllabus and are in their final year to start studying around uh, the last 2 months of your ninth semester. So they will approximately get around 8 months. And 8 months should be more than enough to clear SEBI. All right. Now, for those who are working professional, it again depends on what areas are you working in. Say, for example, somebody who might be working in a corporate firm might be quite well versed with Companies Act and Securities Act, or say, for example, Transfer of Property Act or Contracts Act. So it depends on what are your strengths and weaknesses. Somebody who is in litigation firm is well versed with CRPC, CPC, and all. So they do not need much time to focus on it. So I would recommend to do a SWOT analysis. What are your strengths and weaknesses, and where do you need to work upon? After that, I would recommend to everybody, even to those who are in their final year and even to working professionals, to divide your time weightage wise. SEBI gives out quite elaboratively all the weightage. Like Companies Act is 15% in phase two. Securities Act, all the three securities laws 20%. So I would recommend divide your time accordingly, regardless of how much time you have. Even if somebody is a working professional and he only has 6 months to prepare for this examination and he divides his time well, so I believe that he can easily clear it. Because even in my interview, when I went for interview both the times, most of the population was working professional. But it does not mean that students do not have a chance to clear it. Let me be very clear. I, for one, have not been working anywhere full time. So they do have the chance to clear it. It's not that interview people would look at you whether you are a working professional or not. The SEBI notification does not mention that you need to be a working professional. Right. So interview panel do not take that into consideration. Only thing you gain by being a working professional is that you like your personality changes. Your personality develops in a quite positive manner. But you can also do that while being a student. If you are a good debater, if you are well in moot courts, even if you have wrote research papers or you have a good academic knowledge, your personality will automatically develop.
Right.
Right.